Oh, that harmony is beautiful. Sorry, I'm actually crying now. The song actually does mean a lot to me as well. This song kind of became a song that resonated really heavily with me when my grandmother passed when I was 13. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Griever Productions. I'm here with some Erik. Now, this one has been out for a while, so I do apologise that this has taken so long to get to. I have been a little unwell, as well as doing BTS week, that sort of thing. It's been a long time, but I am definitely now on the mend, and so I wanted to get into this one. I love this song. Now, let's talk about this song for a little bit. Eric Clapton released this song in 1992. Absolutely beautiful song. It was released 6 months before I was born. This song is 32 years old. I hate it. Actually, no, technically it's 33 years old now. Eric Clapton is notably one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Now, keep that in mind. When he was asked the question, what is it like to be the greatest guitarist of all time? His response was, I don't know. Ask Prince. So he's humble as well. And I mean, let's face it, Prince, phenomenal guitar player. Phenomenal musician. So I'm incredibly interested to see where this song goes, because as we have seen with Erik, especially over the last few covers that we've looked at, he tends to do his kind of darker covers of things, and straight off the bat, we're seeing, like, just from the still of the video, it is straight away piano. So I believe that they have that Erik has gotten in the piano player that he works with quite a bit. Please do remind me in the comments of the piano player's name. I cannot remember. I'm shocking with names, and I do apologize. Now, keeping in mind as well, this song was written as a song of mourning, mourning, for Eric Clapton's son, I believe. Yeah, his 4-year-old son who tragically passed. Not something you would ever want anybody to ever have to go through by any stretch of the imagination. I am interested always when songs have that sort of meaning behind them, right? I talk about the story. I talk about the storytelling, the way that this sort of thing is going about it. And I have to admit, with this particular song, you'd never really know that it had that specific meaning, but you do tell that there is a lot of emotion behind it. The song is absolutely beautiful. So I'm very interested to see how Erik takes this and adapts this for his own style. So let's get into this. Before we begin, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help. It helps so much. Please click that notification bell if you haven't done so already. It really does help the channel grow. But without any further ado, let's head into Tears in Heaven, the Eric Clapton cover by Erik Grönwall. This is in a different key, isn't it? This is in a higher key, or am I tripping? Would you know my name? Okay, so I think he's hitting a G sharp 4 there, which, to be completely honest, is an interesting part of the voice to go into. Would you know my name? Would you know? Okay, it's not G sharp, it's a G. Do you know my name? Now I need to check, is this actually the same key, or is this... Would you know my name? Would you know? No. Okay, no. So, Eric Clapton's version, that higher note is an E sharp, sorry, not an E sharp, is an E4, which means that Eric's version here is up a tone and a half from the original, which it definitely puts it in a very lovely spot in his voice. I love Eric's falsetto. Like, yeah, that mixed voice stuff that he does up in the higher registers is phenomenal, right? So good. But he has this incredibly tender falsetto that I love. Won't you know my name? do here, I want to pull apart this line here.
I must be strong.
I must be strong. That flip from head voice into chest voice there, right? I've spoken at length before about Erik and how he is one of the few people that puts such incredible raw emotion behind what he sings. And the technique he kind of uses here, the way that he goes from I must be strong, goes from the head voice to the chest voice, or maybe it's in his mixed voice, I'm not entirely sure. But he's purposely put in that gear change. Now, you can hear when he says the word strong. Have a listen.
I must be strong.
I must be strong. He added the gear change. Now, most of the time, right, when we talk about swapping between head voice and chest voice and going between the registers, what we don't want is that gear change. But you can tell that he's clearly done it on purpose. Most of the time you want it to sound seamless, but he's done it on purpose here, and it goes with that raw emotion so well. In fact, we may, I don't know, this may be this is absolutely speculation, but we may even find that this particular part of the line was probably a one and done, where he went into the studio, he recorded that line, and it's, I don't want to say imperfections, because it's not exactly true. But technically, when it comes to the vocal, it is an imperfection, right? But it adds a perfect emotion. And this is the great thing about music when it's so subjective, is that we can really pull apart these choices, and there are limitless choices to be made, right? When it comes to telling this story. And so you could have a debate with somebody for hours upon hours as to, do you throw away technique for a sound? And I think in a lot of cases, not all obviously, the answer is no. Don't throw technique away for the sound. However, this is one of those times where it's perfect and it's better having the emotion. Singing is this fickle thing, and God, he just knows how to do it.
And carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven.
Beautiful.
Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven?
Oh, that harmony is beautiful. Sorry, I'm actually crying now. The song actually does mean a lot to me as well. This song kind of became a song that resonated really heavily with me when my grandmother passed when I was 13. Sorry, give me a minute. All right. Okay, let's go back here. That harmony was incredibly subtle, but God, it's good.
You hold my hand
Have a listen.
if I saw you in heaven.
I'm always looking out for harmony, so I noticed that it was there. But I can imagine on a first listen, a lot of people would miss it because it's so pulled back, but it's brilliant. I can see why it's pulled back too, because you can hear that he's doing that in his mixed voice, which is much more... I nearly said voluptuous. That's not the word. It's much higher volume than, say, his head voice and what he's singing here. And that's a natural thing. Like, when you get up into that register, being in the mixed voice, it tends to be louder. Not all the time, but it's still so incredibly beautiful.
Would you help me stay if I saw you in heaven? Time can bring you down, time can bend your knees. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, begging please.
I do love a good harmonica. I'm going to go back here. The way that he sings the word please here, what a lot of artists would do would most likely go and stay into that mixed voice there for the word please, to kind of almost how I tend to talk about raising the stakes as you go through a song. But again, the way that he's chosen to do it, the way that he does do it, is in fact the perfect emotive choice, which he always makes.
Beyond the door, there's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more tears in heaven. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Here in heaven.
Damn. Well, I don't know what to say about that other than that was probably one of the most perfect covers, and I don't use the word perfect that often, but I genuinely feel like the way that that was performed, the way that that was put together, the way that it was arranged, the way it was sung, at least for Erik, right, that was perfect. And I can only imagine too, because I was mentioning at the start how you wouldn't necessarily think or know, given the context of the song, what it was written about. And that leaves the song open for direct interpretation. And it got me thinking in the middle there of what this song means to him, given his illness that he went through. Like, you can only imagine, right? Like, you can only imagine coming to terms with your mortality like that. What a song like this means to him. This was absolutely stunning, and and I love it. And I won't lie, I kind of came into this one not expecting to love it that much, and the reason for that is not because of Erik by any means. As I was growing up, I did a lot of Eisteddfods and Talon Quests and that sort of thing, and the people around this area that I was doing those shows and Eisteddfods and stuff with, a lot of people would sing this song. It was a very popular one that came up a lot, especially around that time, because I was around. Well, I was doing them from ages 7 to about 16, maybe 15. Because I started doing more gigs around 15, I think. I can't entirely remember. But basically, you would do these songs with a backing track, and not only would everybody do it exactly the same as each other, 99 out of 100 times they used the same backing track, and the backing tracks were not good. Like, basically, around that time, right, because this is about 15, 16 years ago now, actually even more, for me, the way that we would get our backing tracks was not it hadn't become mainstream at that point to get your backing tracks through a system like iTunes, where you can buy karaoke tracks, or YouTube, where you can download karaoke tracks that are all different and all have their benefits. Like, every single one of them are different in their own way. Some notably better than others, but having said this, in a lot of cases, that better is subjective. But we didn't have that choice then. Basically, what we would do is we would buy these kind of karaoke CDs that would have anywhere between like 12 and 20 songs on them, and you usually had to buy a themed one. So it would be like karaoke 80s, for instance. In this case, it would have been 90s, and I can see the imagery of them as well. They're these garishly colourful, awful CDs. But basically, people would use that, and they would copy and use the same CDs over and over, and it was such a drag. But this has truly breathed an incredible new light into the song, not just for me, but in general. I'll probably go back and re-listen to this quite a bit, and it's truly wonderful. Truly wonderful. So thank you for your patience for this one coming out. It did take a little bit of time. I do apologize. But thank you so much for watching. Like a favorite if you enjoyed. Subscribe to all that sort of thing. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.